Hello, Desert Cross. I hope this Lenten journey is going well for you. This week, I would love to share with you a song and a little bit of reflection around the practice of gratitude. First, would you take a deep breath with me? And just notice for a moment, as you're breathing, this gift of life flowing through you. This force of life given to you generously, really. You didn't have to do anything to get it. This is a gift given freely to you. And maybe allow a sense of gratitude to come over you for this gift of life. Now, what does gratitude have to do with our conversation around the prophets, around justice, mercy, and forgiveness? I think that a practice of gratitude can be so beneficial to us in a couple of different ways. As we think about the complexities of injustice, as we think about the various causes of exploitation or abuses of power, there are so many there, right? I think when we peel back some of those layers, somewhere in there may be, for some of the causes of injustice, a deep yearning, a longing, and a search for significance and self-worth, and maybe even a searching for self-identity from sources that are more material rather than coming from the very source of life. Sometimes some of these things can happen when we are defining ourselves by what we have or what we do or what others think of us, rather than defining ourselves as children of God, as co-creators connected to source and abundant life. And we are invited into this life-giving work of God to share abundant life together. So I think that instead of a lot of the cultural messaging that's often telling us that there's something missing from our life, right? If you watch television at all, a commercial may be telling you all the time that if you get this thing, then you're going to be a little more happy or a little more attractive or a little bit more fulfilled, right? But a practice of gratitude helps us remember and realize where there is enough and even more than enough. I think it can open our hearts to receive the beauty that is right in front of us and open our hearts to be channels of that generosity to share with others. Secondly, I think a practice of gratitude can actually lead us and guide us to discern where injustice is happening and how it's connected to our everyday lives, and invite us to respond in a life-giving and generous way. For example, where do you find yourself practicing gratitude most often? For some of us, we say a blessing or a prayer of thanks just before we're sharing a meal together. So what would it be to take that a little bit further, a little bit deeper, to think about all of the hands that have touched this food that is about to nourish our bodies? So thinking from farmer to factory. If you're going out to eat, think of the cooks and the servers in the restaurant. And then what would it be to get curious about the story of the journey of that food, how farmers are maybe being impacted by food corporations, and learning a little bit more about food injustice right in your own town or community or our world together. So these are just a couple of things I've been thinking about and I wanted to share with you. And so tell me what you think and tell me what comes for you as you maybe go down a couple of those trails. So now let's move into a little bit of a gratitude practice, just being present to the goodness and the beauty that is in our lives and the world around us. So as we do that, I'm going to invite you to take another deep breath. Again, practicing presence to this gift of life that flows through you, and you didn't do anything to deserve it. It is a gift, a beautiful, beautiful gift. So let's continue to breathe deeply and give thanks for the many things that are mentioned in this song.